Eagles training camp, day 2. We're going to go over everything. Vic Fangio press conference, what happened day 2, how everything is looking. And we got some answers today that are going to be pretty interesting going forward during this training camp period, this process, and a whole lot more. Let's get into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Today, so we're going to go over some news for the Philadelphia Eagles as usual. And before I start this video, I do want to apologize because between last night to this morning, I just was not feeling too great. So there's not going to be a lot of cuts in this video. This is going to be smooth sailing throughout this whole entire video. Probably one big rant in one shot because I just didn't have time. I probably wouldn't have had time to edit this just because it's been a long last night till this morning. So want to apologize to everybody. But I definitely want to go over the news for the day. So, injury-wise for the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously you had Sidney Brown being out, Cooper DeJean being out. Oren Burks actually had a knee injury, has been dealing with some knee issues, so he was out. Landon Dickerson was actually limited during practice, so he's coming back slowly from the lacerated toe, whatever it is, which is not serious, but he was back. So we did have Mekhi Becton still at left guard, and we had, obviously, Tyler Steen at right guard. So that's been staying the same. We'll see how it looks once Dickerson comes back, where Mekhi Becton's probably going to take that job most likely and still be in there. Vic Fangio had an interesting press conference today. He said a lot of things just about the roster in general, specific questions on players. Now, he did talk about Jordan Davis, that he does like his movement, and there's some good things to take from him going into the offseason program. Jordan Davis has looked leaner, he's looked a lot quicker, and like I said, with these defensive guys, until we get really the pads on, full pads on, and we're hitting 100%, it's really going to matter at that point to see how much Jordan Davis's motor, just to see just how far along he has come since last year, and not even that, but, did all the offseason work that he did before training camp really paid off? So that's what's really going to matter. Now, Vangio did talk about James Bradberry, too, on embracing playing safety. James Bradberry had no issue switching positions. Now, Vangio did say that James Bradberry will play some cornerback. Hasn't done it yet, so Bradberry's was with the second-team safeties once again. Now, Vangio gave an example and gave like a list of cornerbacks that turned to safety, and it's not a big list. It's not always successful doing that. But the question is, can Bradberry move from cornerback to safety? I know where Bradberry can move. Bradberry can move from safety to the damn trade block. That's where he could move at this point. I just, is this a ploy to get James Bradberry's his value up or something like that? I mean, they're talking about this as if, you're talking about a backup safety. Like, Bradberry's a backup safety right now, $10.5 million. I still just can't believe he's going to be here. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I still don't believe it to this point. It's kind of ridiculous to keep talking about this. Bryce Huff. Vangio was asked a question about Bryce Huff and can he play every down? Can he be an every down type player? And Vangio said he's a work in progress. He says, I think potentially he will get to that spot, but right now, no. So an edge rusher that you paid $17 million a year, we know going into this after they signed him, Bryce Huff only played 43% of the snaps with the New York Jets. Okay, and, heavy rotation, only the 110-sack season. I feel good about Bryce Huff. I'm not questioning because what's on tape is what's on tape that really matters. What Fangio says is what Fangio says, but this is a little alarming. that he doesn't think he's a 3-down player right now. Now, it's still very early in the process of training camp. Bryce Huff did discuss how he really likes how Vic Fangio, Vic Fangio has been putting him in a lot of coverage this year, playing against the run a lot more than what he did with the New York Jets. So we already know in this defense that Bryce Huff, these ends are going to be in the coverage a lot, hence why you get rid of Reddick as a less scheme fit. You get J-Lux Hunt that's more of a nice balance, and obviously having Nolan Smith and having now having Bryce Huff here being in coverage a lot more. So that's what Bryce Huff's expecting, and that's what's pretty much happening. We'll get these full pads on and see what everything looks like down the road, but that was a little, I don't know, that was a little off to even say that about Bryce Huff. So we'll see what happens in the meantime. Now, Vic Fangio did shut down the media on, you're not going to play rookies, this year. And he said, no, like if they're worthy of playing, they will play. So I like how there is competition this year. A lot of the second team guys are playing first team. Third is going to second. First to second, second to first. So, right now really doesn't matter because it's so early in time in training camp, but he's not taking rookies and saying they're not worthy of playing or they're not going to get a chance or an opportunity. He says the best players will play. There's no favoritism. These practices have been very tough the last couple days, and he reprimands players, and that's a whole nother thing too. Devin White said in his press conference today that he'll call you out middle of the field. He'll call you your number, he'll call your name in front of the whole entire team, but it's all tough love at the end of the day. But when you're rewarded and you do well, he recognizes that, and he calls you out on the good things too. So a lot to take from Vic Fangio's stance on practice, how he treats his players, but how he treats those players, whether you're a rookie, a first year, second, third, veteran, doesn't matter. Everyone is going to get their opportunity, and if you're worthy of playing the position and starting, he will put you in there, and that's really all that matters. So I really did like this press conference with Fangio to get a sense of what he feels of this roster that he has full control of as of right now. So we'll see what happens down the road. Now, speaking of players in certain positions today for the second day, it looks like Zach Bond and Devin White were your first team linebackers. You had Devin White and Nakobe Dean as your second team, which was great because then Dean kind of moved back to the first team, so they switched guys a little bit here and there. Outside corners, Slay and Ringo. Second team, Isaiah Rodgers and Ringo. Slay did rest today, so he didn't practice the whole entire day. So with some of these veterans, they're not going to work them like crazy. Get these other young guys a lot of playing time. That's what really matters. Get them throw them into the fire of training camp and let them, face the better talent on offense. Iron sharpens iron at the end of the day. So we saw Eli Ricks move from the third team to the second team a couple times. He already did it for 2 days straight, which is a fantastic thing. You had Devin White and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. with the first team. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. had first team reps with the team, which is absolutely awesome. Rooting for this kid entirely. We had an injury scare today because the last play of training camp, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. fell to the ground holding his leg, but he got up, he walked to the cart, sat in the cart, get driven back to the facility. He had cramps a couple times today. He had cramps all day today. He's been dealing with it the last couple days. So we thought we lost Jeremiah Trotter Jr. to the whole entire, to a really bad injury, but it was an injury scare. He's perfectly fine. No issues, no problems. Happy he is all right. Now, talking about some plays being made, and we have to take a lot of this with a grain of salt because these guys aren't in full pads right now. So when I talk about defensive linemen or players like that, guys in coverage, it matters a little bit more, but guys are on a defensive line, like they're not trying to hurt the quarterback. They're not trying to hurt each other. So how much are they really putting into? You're trying to rush as fast as you possibly can at 100% speed to make plays, but obviously you want to show the coaches something. So these guys could take it. They're not children. They could hit each other a little bit without full pads. But we had some good news on Bryce Huff, getting to the quarterback today, which was great. Got some pressure off the edge with Nolan Smith in the vicinity as well. We had Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter wreaking havoc today, getting pressure multiple of times today. Even both of them explaining even after practice that this defense for Vic Fangio reminds them of what Georgia did, which is kind of weird. But it's nice that they're getting some familiarity with it. These are the two players right here that they need to work out this year. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are the two players. That's where your defense starts. You're not looking at any other position on defense. It starts with those two guys because I'm telling you right now, and I feel good about Jalen Carter having an all-pro year this year. We know what he could do. Jordan Davis, on the other hand, good beginning year, kind of fell off. Is he in better shape? Is the motor going to be a little bit better today where he's not running out of gas on some pass rush? And we found out early last year, 25% of the season down the line in 23, that, damn, Jordan Davis got a monster pass rush. Now going back to his original position at nose tackle, a lot of familiarity there with him doing that at Georgia as well. So, putting Jordan Davis back to what he's really good at doing and seeing what really works next to him and around him, it really starts with him. It starts with really those two guys. And I'm very excited for it. They were killing it today at practice. They did a fantastic job. So can't wait to see more from those guys, especially when we have joint practices and see them against another team, another jersey. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, some notes taken from the offense today that I really did like. One, Jalen Hurts looks a lot faster. So, obviously, that knee injury is healed up. And, we haven't, you look at 22 Jalen Hurts to 23 Jalen Hurts. It's two different players when it comes to speed and stuff like that. Even 21 Jalen Hurts was really fast, okay? Obviously, when he was at that moment, it was different times. But because of those QB draws and letting your quarterback get hit so much early last season, developing that knee injury, limiting the one element to your offense that makes us unique is obviously Jalen Hurts' legs with that speed. And it looks like today he looked crisp, he was accurate today, and his running was just apparently he's got all that speed back. He's looking really good right now. A lot of notes on Cam Jurgens today on lead blocking, kind of looking like Jason Kelsey out there. That everyone's saying that he looks really good. The way he comes out of his blocks, if he's lead blocking, he's pulling to the left or the right and trying to pick up on some blocks for some guys on the outside or whatever. He's done a fantastic job so far. I mean, I feel really good about Cam Jurgens being that center. Obviously the health thing might be a little bit of an issue because he got hurt last year, but it was small things. But this is what happened. I think center is one of the biggest positions where you get messed up all year. I mean, you're getting hit constantly all years. The linemen get banged up. They're always dealing with something, but I feel good about Cam, what he brings to the table. And can't wait to see him against another team and another jersey, and kind of unveil, what Cam Jurgens can really turn into, maybe 3-4 years down the road. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. We really rely on him. Kelsey was one of the biggest losses to this offense, and we know this, and we know that Cam Jurgens is not an upgrade over Kelsey, but he's still a very solid player. Can he get to that point? We want him to be his own person and do his own thing and create his own legacy in Philadelphia as the next center in Philadelphia. So feel really good about Cam Jurgens and what was said about him at Eagles training camp. Now, I did say that Becton played at left guard while Tyler Steen was at right guard because Landon Dickerson was limited, so more playing time for a lot more guys. So Becton getting more of a shot as usual, and can't wait to see what he does down the road. Wide receiver 3 was amazing as well because we had a little bit of a change. We went from Paris Campbell yesterday, and we now have John Ross that started the whole day. Now, they're doing this defensively. They're doing this offensively as well, where they're rotating guys with the first team. They're seeing who meshes well. You want your top, you want your cornerback, your young cornerbacks to face your offense's top talent. And then offensively, you want to switch in guys to face top talent on defense. So, iron sharpens iron, like I always say, because it just makes each player even better. So, heard John Ross did fairly well today. Paris Campbell has been doing good. So I think wide receiver 3 is definitely going to heat up. And remember, Howie Roseman said the first day that this is a position that they're going to check on daily going forward. So nice that John Ross got some licks at the wide receiver 3 spot. And I don't know, I'm kind of rooting for this guy a lot. As much as I want Nia Smith to be the full-time starter, haven't heard much. Nia Smith did a couple things, had one catch from, had an underthrown ball, really good separation from Will Greer today. So Nia Smith actually had one underthrown ball to him today, but I haven't heard much the last couple of days. Paris Campbell, John Ross had a solid day, so we'll see how that goes at wide receiver 3 going forward. So Jalen Hurts was 15 for 17 for the day. Multiple passes to Dallas Goedert for quick receptions. You had one over-the-shoulder throw right sideline to A.J. Brown, beating Darius Slay on the right sideline. And you had another slant pass to A.J. Brown. So Jalen Hurts was slinging the ball like crazy today and doing really well, and the last 2 days have been pretty damn good. And getting close with Kellen Moore, I've heard during training camp that him and Kellen Moore have been in a lot of conversations on obviously bringing in specific plays that worked out last year, but obviously Kellen Moore adding a lot of new things to the offense as well. We heard from A.J. Brown even yesterday. We heard from a lot of other players saying how different everything is, but there is, some things are the same from last year, but there's different terminology added to the offense. But I think the players are all excited. It just seems like there is a lot of positivity and excitement in the air. All of these, Kellen Moore bringing in the pre-snap motion and how different things are looking. Using pre-snap motion to get specific guys open in your offense, keeping the defense on their heels a little bit and doing great things. So I'm excited for the rest of training camp. Second day was a great day. We got some more information on the defensive side of the ball, which was good. But like I said, I want to get these pads on and I want to go full force to see what they're really made of going down the line. So other than that, that's pretty much it. So mostly defensive side of the ball. Some great news on offense with a few players, but I don't think anything's really changed so far. We'll check out on the Bradbury situation going forward, what Kellen Moore is doing with this offense, what it's going to look like, and Vic Fangio is not messing around. Holds players accountable. We'll call them out, and whoever is deserving to play will play. He's not playing favorites. He has no favoritism for anybody. And that's the type of old hard-nosed coach that he is. And, I like a coach like that. And I think this is what the team really needed. Let me know what you guys think about this offense and this defense going forward, specific players, the injury scare to, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Did it freak you out? Because I totally was a total mess after that. But other than that, you guys have a great day. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, Fall Side? Peace out, guys.